Again, my name is Gabe Zollner. You know what's interesting? A friend of mine and I were chatting. He's in Houston, and we were talking about Obama, and I had said it'd be really nice if we could get a blood sample taken. And I said that could never happen. And he said, well, why not? I said, well, it just could never happen. And then he told me something that I wasn't aware of, and I went ahead and I did a little Googling. On August the 3rd, 1998, and on August the 17th, 1998, the FBI took 2 blood samples from President Billy Bob Clinton. Yeah, and those blood samples were taken in order to establish his DNA and to see if it matched up Monica Lewinski's blue dress stains. And as we all know, it did. Well, what I think that's done is it's set a precedence, because there was a concern that Billy Bob Clinton might have lied to Congress when he said he didn't have sex with that woman, and there was a stain on Monica Lewinski's blue dress that was from Bill Clinton. It was a sperm. So the Attorney General, I guess at that time, went ahead and ordered the FBI to go ahead and take a blood sample. Well, I'm inclined to think, for a whole lot of reasons, that the president that we have in the Oval Office might very well still be addicted to crack cocaine. And the reason I say that, and I made mention this in previous videos if you've been a viewer, he exhibits an incredible amount of energy. He never walks anywhere. Watch the way he comes down Air Force One. I have seen him come down that steps, I don't know how many hundreds of times. He runs down the steps. Watch the way he goes up the steps. He runs up the steps. Watch the way he goes onto a runway on a stage. He doesn't walk. He hops up on the stage. Everything that he does is done at an accelerated, fast pace. I think he's loaded half the time. I think that also explains why he can't communicate more than 4 words without interjecting unless he's reading. I think he's conditioned himself and trained himself to be able to read, but he can't think. If he could think, then he would talk the way he reads, but he can't. So I think what has to happen is Congress, not the Attorney General, the less than honorable Eric H. Holder. He won't order it. But I think Congress needs to order a blood test on Barack Hussein Obama to determine if there's traces. I don't think there'll be traces. I think he's loaded. I think he's loaded half the time. I think they need to take samples of his hair. They need to analyze it, because the hair, you've got a history of drug use in the hair. That's what has to happen. So we need some congressmen that stand up and demand that those tests are done. And the reason that is here's a guy that's got his finger on the nuclear trigger. If he's loaded half the time, maybe he shouldn't have the kind of powers that he has. Bill Clinton subjected himself to blood tests. Barack Hussein Obama needs to do the same. In Bill Clinton's case, it was simply a matter of lying to Congress. In Barack Obama's case, it's far more serious than that. So, why don't you ask your congressman to consider getting together and demanding that Obama produce a blood test or some hair samples. Either one will do. What do you think? I told you what I think.